Hey guys, I'm just pulling out the pit pins that I need for this. I think I have them all. Give or take. Hi, Ian. Welcome. Or it's Ian, probably, isn't it? I did get some new stuff I'll show you, too, that I got today. I have more coming. And let me find a piece of black paper. And we'll test, I think. That's what we want to test this stuff on. I wasn't planning on streaming right now, so I wasn't ready. There's a black. I got the metallic pastel. I thought it was Prima, but this says Art Philosophy by Prima. So they've changed their labeling. How it's different than the other set. They've just altered the labeling. But I like these metallics. I think they have a little more pigment for the price than the portfolios. But I want to try using some of these and these on the Yupo, and I have Yupo coming. But let me set this aside and we'll try that real quick. Hi, Judy. The one thing they don't do is they don't give you any color names, which I wish they somewhere gave you a name. And I'm not sure how they are on white. I wanted to try them on a black today. Just to see that. And this is not watercolor paper. It's not, I mean, for their price point, it's not too bad. Yeah. I just got a 9x12 pad. Because I like the 9x12 size. If I stick to that, I have the mats already that are the 11x14 mats that are matted for 9x12. All right, so that's that first row on black. And then this is the second row. And then I'll find a piece of that. Ooh, that pink. The second row, some of these that appear real pale. Oh, look at that one, y'all. Must be like an interference. I think I skipped one. Yeah, I did skip. I skipped that one. Oh, for the price point, hi, Teresa. All right, so let's try them on a white. Now, some of them may not show up on a regular watercolor paper. Let me see if I have a little scrap piece hanging out. Well, of course, because I'm trying to find a piece I can't find any. Well, this is just drawing weight, but it'll work for this purpose. They're a nice soft pastel on the white. I'll hold it up just a minute to the camera. You can see it a little better. They're not like super pigmented in the sense that I'm probably having to do 2 coats. So that's that first row. The second row definitely works better with the darker colors, because those are those interference. So I'm trying to deal with the camera in the backwards. That's the first row here and here. And then there's the second row. And you can definitely see that second row is better with the black. But I think I paid $12. It was under $15. My thought is to see if they'll kind of move and granulate with some of the other colors and what they'll do on the Yupo. I'm going to get some of the Crimmer pigments, but baby steps. The other thing I got was I got an empty tray and the half pans. And I have watercolor pigment binder coming. And so what I thought we would do when I get everything is try taking some of the magicals from Lindy's and the binder and creating some pans. And then those magicals I could use like watercolor. Because right now when I mix them on my table, if I mix too much or have leftover, I can't reuse it. You know, it dries. So I thought I'd try a couple pans. I'm not going to do a whole bunch because I don't want to waste it. I want to just see. I just want to experiment with 1 or 2 colors and let them set up and see how they work. And then what I'm thinking is if I like it, I may make a set of magicals watercolors where I have it in a watercolor because I like to add that shimmer on top when I'm finishing something. So that might be easier than getting the powder out and mixing a little bit of water and then I waste some. Or what happens a lot of times when I do it on the craft mat is I notice like I don't get as much of the shimmer because the mica is so heavy, it stays on the mat. So it's hard to say what'll happen, but I thought it'd be fun to play with and try. And then I'm just waiting till I get the Krimmer stuff and seeing if there was a more affordable method of getting some of Patty's results is, I guess, what I'm kind of looking for. All right, so here are the last pours that we did. And all I had to, the biggest thing I had to do was I had to work on the sides last night because it was so thin. The Floetrol with just the mixed media line and too much of that was too light, too not heavy enough. So I had too much Floetrol and not enough paint probably because it was just too thin. These light spots are where the interference is, and that was a waste unless you're going to do it with dark pigment. So I wouldn't use the interference at all. They just came out more as like a white. They don't, they don't really show. But I think this one is good. It kind of looks like the bottom of the ocean. So I don't know what I'm going to do on it yet, but it looks like it's crying out for an ocean something. This one turned out really cool. And I had to touch up the sides where the paint was so thin, there were bald spots. So I just darkened the colors and kind of almost brought a shadow, and I darkened this up a little bit on the bottom. And this one, I think what I want to do is come in, and I think I want to put like a row of bushes in a lighter color right here, and maybe even some wildflowers, and then trees. Yeah, well, what I ordered from Natural Pigments is a watercolor binder mix. It's got the gum arabic, glycerin, and a small amount of honey already mixed. So I ordered that so I could use that and not have to like really kind of mess with ratios. But it will be my first experimentation with that. So here's the pour that I added the Mermaid to, and I did that last night off camera so she could dry. And all I did was add some different papers for her rocks, and the Mermaid I already had cut out, and a jelly printed tail. Oh, could be a water. There could be a waterfall in there. Yeah. In fact, I didn't get. This has a coat of gel medium over it, so I'm using the pit pins over the gel medium. And I'm going to start with my rocks. And lay in some areas of brown. Let me see if I can. I think I can move the camera in just a little bit. I don't want to move it so that the canvas is off the screen. Sorry, wrong way. Because then it's too hard to know where I'm at and focus right now. Let me flip this. Right now I'm just trying to get in some of the base layer. And then I'm going to come in with some gray and some black too. Hi, Karen. Hi, Joan and Button and Kimberly. Welcome, Leah. Those of you who haven't been to my channel before, I appreciate you stopping by. And I'll come in and add more definition in areas. Even use some black in some areas. Oh, welcome, Karen. Yeah, I'm that way on some streams. I chat more than others. Some I just lurk. Especially when I first go to someone's channel, I don't probably talk as much. There's this rock behind her too. I want to make sure I don't forget. It's a little tougher in some of these tight areas because I'm trying not to get on her. But if you get something, you have time with a baby wipe before it dries. Once it dries, it's permanent. Yeah, that's exactly the same with me, CB. If I know more of the people, then I'll chat more. So after I've been there a couple times, but like it, or if how fast the chat is moving, sometimes that will make me not chat too. If the chat is moving, like sometimes I don't talk at Dee Dee's if I go. I don't get up that early usually if I'm home, to be honest. So if I do go into Dee Dee's, a lot of times I say hi and then I'm still in bed and kind of not really all that social. Depends how late I've been up if I go to Dee Dee's. Yeah, I'm always on my phone, so and I don't usually do art when I watch any streams very often. Occasionally. But Dot yells at me if I do it off camera, so I don't do it very often off camera. Because I don't like when Dot yells at me. Okay, and I think I want to change the line right in here. So you can see I can sort of take that off. I don't know. If you wet your finger, you can also. I just don't like this line right in here. I think it was better as one big rock. Could be Barb tomorrow. I won't be on tomorrow because I have a doctor's appointment and I have to go to school. And then Ange is on at the night. So I won't stream tomorrow. See, there's something on the canvas right here. So I'm going to add a little dark area in here. Okay, I'm happy with that upper layer. come in here with gray. I think I need to pull some of that back. All right, and then I'm also going to clean up her arm on the edge a little bit where I've gotten onto the white. All right. Okay. Yeah, it's harder to remember with Ella and Barb when they went on the, we're just going to do this. Schedule. Okay. This older paper does, it's real brittle. It's old music paper. It does, even under the gel medium, it does absorb it differently. I think that because it needs probably more gel medium. Who's always very well prepared? Barb, you mean? Hi, Marie. Okay, these need some areas of light too. All right, and then this bottom, I'm just gonna do more of a blur and less detail. All right, I think that's good for the rocks. Just lift off a little here and there with just some texture. And scratch off some. Thanks, Eileen. All right. Clean my fingers off. And I'm going to flip her upside down. And I'm going to put in the first layer of skin. And let that dry. And don't worry about her. This is such a light color. Right now, I'm not even too worried about like where her hairline is. It's not the final color of her skin. In fact, it's so light, it doesn't even show up. because I like it to kind of dry before I come back in. All right, so I'm going to come in with a darker teal around the outside of her fin and bottom. And I'm even going to add some gray in there. I might have to even add like a little bit of black right here in the small of her back. And I want to kind of bring that in. Get that with a little bit of gray right here under her arm too. It just gives me a like of a gray teal when I mix those two. And then I'm going to come back in and add my highlights to this and get the texture of her fin with the white Posca pen. I'm going to darken this right here. Right, and then I'm also going to come in here and put a little gray under this to create like a shadow. I actually had to hit it with a little bit of black just. And then I'll come back with the turquoise and darken that back. And you can even drag some of the color with the tip of these. And get a blend. All right, and I think I'm going to come in a little bit of the gray on some of these ribs in the thin, and then come back with the teal. Soften them. All right. So, don't think I'm going to use any green at all on her. What I want to do is take my white pasta pen. And what I like to do is I like to go in and make little dots and dashes in areas. They won't stay white. Well, there might be some green in this part, Eileen, to be honest. Some yellow and green and light turquoise. All right, I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to flip her upside down and work on her skin. And this is terracotta, not the color I want. Cinnamon is the color. It is not in the skin set, but it's one of my favorite colors to use for skin. I like to use it for my edge. And And I don't like how this line is. So I'm gonna kind of alter it. I had a little too much of a curve. And if I get too dark, then I just come in with the light and can lift out. These are Pip pens, which are India ink, and they are permanent when they're dry, and I have them on top of gel medium. They do not do this on paper. Yeah, they're by Faber-Castell. And I will tell you the best way to build a collection is they have sets. You can buy like the big box, but it's real expensive. But they have actual sets. So the skin set, the gray set, and the landscape set are a really good starter. And there you can get them on the sets from anywhere from $8 to $15. And there's 6 pins in a set usually. Hobby Lobby has had them on sale recently if you can find them, but I can't. I think what's throwing my back line off is the way I have her bottom here. Her bodice is a little, usually I make a V in it, and I think I tore it more straight. So that is playing with what I think is correct on the lines. Usually I have it go up higher on this side and more of a V. And I tore this more straight. And then you can also buy singles at Dick Blick, which is the other thing that I did too, because you will get a few duplicates in some sets. There's a green and a blue that I got a few duplicates, but I don't really care because I just save them. I put them aside and save them. Yeah, Colleen is a professional shopper. And I also think if the area you go to is more highly populated, it's going to be harder to nab those sales. Like I have There's one in Fort Worth proper. There's one in the little town south of me. There's one on the Upper West Loop. There's one more kind of in the downtown area. And like if I went the circuit, I could hit a lot of Hobby Lobbies and keep looking for them. But I didn't. Okay. So that gets her back in. Yeah. If you only have one Hobby Lobby to go to, and everybody goes to that Hobby Lobby, especially if we all start talking about the sale on Facebook and YouTube, then it's like really hard to catch those sales, I think. Where I think there's about 2 or 3 that are close to Colleen that she goes to on a regular basis. Okay, there's a little bit dark right here. I want to add a little. Okay. Thank you, Lisa. All right. I'm going to take the dark turquoise and I'm going to come off of and put some little dots. And then I'm going to come in with some green. And then I'm going to put a couple dots of the white Posca. And I'll hold that up in just a second again. And let those dry. So that kind of extends, and you can see her skin. The camera's going to stay fuzzy because I can't hold it still, probably enough for it to focus. Let's try this. See if we give it something to focus on. You get the idea, basically. All right. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to where these are dry now, and I'm going to take a light teal, a bright yellow, and a lighter green. So this is May green. That's one of the ones you'll get some duplicates in some of the sets. $154 doesn't have, some of these don't have names on the pins. $154 and $109. And what I did do when I first started getting them is I took a piece of paper and I started writing down all the numbers. When I would get a set, I would go in and write in a page all the numbers of what I had gotten. And then when I would go to shop a new set, I would go to Faber-Castell's, website and see what numbers were in that set. And that helped me know if I would get duplicates or not, and if I wanted to order that set. Another set that Amazon carries is they carry one called Autumn that's like 12 pins, and it's all your some purples and reds and oranges and pinks, and that's a good range of all your warm colors. I wish they did one that had the blues and greens like that. They do have a blue set, and I did order that as a replacement set, and that was how I actually got the dark teal, which I didn't have. All right, so I'm just going to come in and lay down some turquoise in areas over that white. Kind of smear it. I'm going to stay with the turquoise and the green more. I'm going to stay with the turquoise on the outer side more, and the green. Oh, this green's not a brush. I actually also found this one that Shauna is a light green. So, all right, so I'll stay with the May green on the outside. And some of the turquoise. I may even come back in with some of the dark turquoise. And then I'm going to go with the yellow. I'm just working in one area right now. In that kind of center area, I'm going to go with this lighter green, this limey, and the yellow. And I may even hit some of that turquoise in there. Again, because I've got too much yellow in here. That helps. I'm going to hit the darker turquoise again. And some of them, they'll stay white. And I'm going to hit that lighter green up in here too. And I'm going to hit that yellow. I'll hold it up in just a minute where you can see. I'm trying to put the yellow where my highlighted areas would be, where that light is hitting it. And keep it darker. Okay. All right, Leah. And I'll just keep working the dots with the colors. Start on the next area. And I am going to come back in with some of the dark in that. I need to come in here with a little bit of black and a turquoise. Just to kind of create. Hi, Linda. You'll have to watch the replay, Linda. All right, and I think I'm going to add that yellow there. And a little bit of the green on this part because it's actually not that blue. All right. Now, when you use these this way, you got to make sure that the caps snap down when you put them away. That's one thing I will tell you I've learned the hard way. And you got to make sure that there's gel medium is a 100% dry or you will ruin your tips. Technically, they're supposed to be refillable, but I have not seen refills or been successful at refilling the black. So I'm going to call that done as far as her fin goes. Now, she's going to have gray hair because that's what was requested. So I'm going to start. Well, the first thing I want to do is make sure my hands are clean before I switch to these lighter colors again. Thanks, Jean. All right, and I'm going to start with a light indigo because it needs to be kind of a white gray. But to get some definition in there, I'm going to have to go darker, and then I'll use the Posca. Lift out some of that peach too. And then I'll use the Posca to add a lighter color layer. Okay. And I'm just building up some lines for some hair. I'll show you in just a minute. Okay. It's going to be really hard to see, but I'm just trying to get some lines in there. Don't mess up. Thanks, CB. Yeah, this is a commission. It is Bob's cousin who found me through art on the internet. Making sure I had a cold gray. And then we got on Ancestry.com. And found the actual link for the descendants. Okay, and I'm going to come in with just a little bit. And I know I'm going darker than what she wants, but I'm not. This is the bottom layer. All right, I'm going to go in with the lighter gray and move some of that around. I almost think I'm there. But what I'm going to do is add some Posca. Trying to keep it on camera, but the Posca lets me go off the paper some to the canvas. Okay, so I don't like right here, but it's wet, so I'm just going to pull it out and try again. See, I didn't like, it's hard sometimes when you go to flick the ends off. To get the right wispy. All right, girls, I think that might, yeah, no face. And her hair's at a weird angle because it's blowing over, like it moving over in the wind or the water. And I don't think I'm going to add any color because she wants a white gray. And I think that is the perfect combination of a white gray. And I have a little piece right here on the canvas that I don't like. So I'm going to take the white Posca. It's like a little cell or something. And I'm just going to make it purple so it doesn't. It's like a little blemish in the pour. And I might even add just knocking down a couple of those whites. That maybe didn't get hit. All right, what I want to do is I'll let her dry completely. I will put a coat of the Mod Podge. Because she has the white Posca on her hair, I'm going to let her dry really well before I do the Mod Podge. So I'll do another layer, and I just use Mod Podge because I go through this stuff like by the gallon. And I'll let this dry, and then I'll give it a coat of a varnish. Thank you, Ian. And I'm just going to sign it. Down here in white today. But that Posca will sometimes slide or try to lift off if you move it too soon. Thanks, Jean. I know it's repetitive because I just did a mermaid like this. But what happened was I posted it on Facebook, and within 5 minutes. One person bought it and 2 other people tried to buy it. So Christina asked me to do another one, and just getting the right pour was difficult this week. A pour that, because she wanted turquoise, and that one was in pink, and she wanted white hair. That one had yellow hair. So in hindsight, ordering it, she got to get what she wanted exactly. But that's kind of what happens with the bunnies too, is I sell them and that dictates more. So I guess it's, I don't. But like I said, that's it for me today. And I won't stream tomorrow, but I'll probably stream this weekend. And I think we'll try to do something with this pour. And I still want to do a heron on this pour. I want to do a great white heron, but I think I'm going to do a colored pencil on paper and cut them out and put them on here and then add to it. So that's probably what I'll work on this weekend, is those 2 pours. I also have Kathy's bear to do, Berg, but she needs to be, I need to know she's going to be at the stream. Z told me no, she was not streaming tonight, I don't think. And that on Sunday, she was going to try YouTube out. So I don't think she's going to even be on. I don't know what's going on today that she wasn't. Yeah, I should get my date tomorrow. They're doing some kind of test and determining what kind of lens that I would be best for me. I have 3 options. 1 corrects your far distance, 1 corrects your near, and 1 gets more of your midline. I think the midline is what we're going to end up going for. Because I told him that I did artwork and that, it's on the computer a lot in about a foot's distance. But I need, after they do my measurements and look, but yeah, then I'll be able to drive again. Because right now I won't drive unless I know where I'm going. And it's a very familiar route. Thanks, Button, for hanging out. So I see him at 8:20. And then once I know my date of then I'll know, if I could commit. Because I don't know. It doesn't take long to heal. There's no stitches even. Thanks, Joan. And I don't even know if they're going to do one eye on one day and another eye, because that's what I've always heard, is that they wait a week, do one on Monday and then the next Monday do one. I'd just soon have both of them done and come home and be in bed and listen to my audiobook and be over with it. But I don't think they'll do that. I think I may need to darken right there. Yeah, I don't think it takes long. Yeah, and he thinks that that I've had them all my life. That there's a kind called congenial. Yeah, my friend that just had them done, they waited a week to 2 weeks to do it. So I don't know. We'll find out. I want it done, if possible, before I go back to school, because the insurance price is going to go up so much. I may end up having to change insurance. I want both done at the same time, Button, because Bob can bring me home and I can just be in the bed and listen to audiobooks, and I don't have to go anywhere or do anything. But I know that in the long run, it would cost me less if they could do. And they're going to put me not under, but I won't see or be aware. Because we already discussed that. Because I told them it kind of creeped me out. So, oh well. I'll know more tomorrow. And I'll let you know what they said. But that's good to know, Button, because I would prefer to have them on the same day and pay one op fee. Because I have to go with my insurance. I have to go to an outpatient hospital. Not the office. Like I can't go in. The doctor I even saw can't do them. I have to see a different doctor in his practice because of my insurance and their rules. So, all right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. I'll definitely see y'all at Angie's. I don't usually go to Barb's. The chat moves fast, and it's not a lot of people I know. Dot's about the only one for sure. I know they don't like doing them on the same day, but I'm going to try to talk them into it. All right, guys. I'll see you at Jen's tonight. Yeah, Jean. All right.